Hello and thanks for clicking. So if you're someone who likes to create batch files from scratch, then you probably go through the same code all the time. So at the beginning you probably open with knocking the echo statement off and setting other parameters, but myself, I like to have a set template that I work from for creating new functions, and this is the template that I use. So you can see that it's quite simple. There are 8 options. The 9th option is always exit, and the 10th option is always edit, and underneath you get the option function. So we can see that if we choose option 1, it tells us you have selected option 1, press any key to continue, and then it takes us back to the main menu. Yeah. Of course we could have option 1 as say we were making a stores search function. We could have option 1 as enter a part number. We could have option 2 as search for a part number. We could have option 3 as enter a new stores item, that kind of thing. Obviously you change it as you need to. So if we go to option 10, we can edit it. So as I said before, the standard options that you normally put in a batch file, standard statements that you normally put in a batch file. So you would start off with echo off. In my case I've set a variable called TTL. I'm calling it template. If I could call that stores search, I could call it batch file update, I could call it anything. Whatever this file is going to do once it's copied and pasted, I can give it the title of. The color for the background for the text is 0 and F, so that's a black background with bright white text. So I'd mainly separate my batch files into 3 sections anyway. Section 1 is usually my menu, if I'm given it a menu, which I usually do. Section 2 is usually my options, so I state what the options are going to be. I write the code in for what the options are going to be. And section 3 are functions. I'll just save that one there. In this particular one, section 3 functions, I've got a function called loop, and in the loop function you'll recognize that it's a standard for statement that goes through a source file, which I've got just as a variable. If I was going to use this loop, I would set the source variable in one of my previous options. So I would say like set source equals stores items.txt, yeah, and then it would look through stores items.txt in this variable. It would then go through and it would echo everything that is in that semicolon delimited file. So it would echo the first 2 items in the first 2 columns, I should say. And that would be if I was to call that loop statement. You can see that in the function section I would create functions for whatever I was doing, and I would just call them. Now all this is in the interest of trying to minimize the amount of code that you have to write. Now you can see that I've duplicated the code for pause and go to for every single step. Now I've tried to minimize that in the past using different other ways, but I've found that when you start getting too complicated and having call statements all over the place and go to statements all over the place, you tie yourself in knots with the code when you're trying to read it back. there's kind of a limit where you have to keep things as rational as possible and as easy to read as possible. So, for example, so statement 1, so for this one here, what we'll do is we'll just go echo, and we'll go echo dot so that we control where the space is. This is option 1. And we'll put exclamation marks, and then we'll click save. Now when we go back here, if we go option 1, this is option 1. Press any key to continue. Takes us back to the beginning. Option 2. Oh, we haven't got anything for option 2, so let's go back to our thing. Let's go back to our code. Oops. Let's start it with echo. And we go option 2 is here. So if we go back to our code and we select option 2, you selected option 2 is here. Press any key to continue. And that is basically it. So to give a quick run through of what each step of the code does. So we've already said about how the main steps are set out. So section 1, section 2, section 3, that kind of thing. Section 0 is always my I always say that is my main section, my main menu. So option 1, I've got clear the screen. So this is clear the screen, so that whenever I go back to 0, I clear the screen. I have a little title, main menu for whatever that is. Bearing in mind that when I set the variable for title, that's the word that is going to appear here. So I've set the title to template. The title for the command box is going to be title. So that is why there is the word template there. The colour, so the options, so I've just gone down, I've just made echo statements of what I want to see on the screen. And then to set the option, to ask the user a question, we use set /p, and then we give the variable a name, which is _opt, and we ask the user what the option is going to be. So if the variable called option is greater than 10, echo I'm unable to find that. And that's just a simple catch-all. So as you can see, we've only got options 1 to 10. So if we go option 11, we go unable to find that. And if we go option K, unable to find that. So it's just a simple catch-all, so that if the user puts in something crazy, then we can report back that they can't do it. So if the option is greater than 10, tell them you can't do it. However, else you have selected option whatever, and then go to that option. So if we select option 7, it goes, you have selected option 7, and then the statement says go to step 7, function 7, down here. And then whatever you do for 7 is what happens when the step's executed. Then it does a pause. The pause simply lets the user see what's happening on the screen, and then it goes back to 0 again. So we recycle the menu, and that's essentially it. That's about as complicated as it goes. When we get down to step 9, which is the exit statement, we just use a very simple exit B, and then for option 10 to edit this particular application, we go start notepad. So we're going to edit in notepad, which is what this is. I'm going to edit in notepad, and we use the variable %0. So %0 is essentially this file, which I've called 0786, but that's just the way that I name my files. And then we go back to 0 because we want to recycle the original batch file after we finish doing the step. And that's about it. So I'm going to press 9 to exit that, and that is my menu template. Like I said, what I tend to do is I tend to copy that file into a new file. So if I'm making something else, I would just copy it and then rename it, and then start from scratch, start putting items. I would start, if it was a store search like I was saying earlier, I would have an option there, I would have a different option there, different option there, and having 8 options is a comfortable amount of options to be able to just do whatever you want to do, and it saves duplicating the same code over and over again, and you know it works. And that's it. Okay, thanks for watching.